Hey guys, gals, been a long time back. I got yesterday, the other day, I got another comment, and I believe it's the same person that made a comment a month or two ago on my YouTube page. And when I got back on there and faced this person and challenged them or debated them, it pretty much ran away with their tail between their legs and didn't come back and say a word. So, wasn't expecting them to come back. But here they come again with a new one, a new comment, another attack on me. So I'm not only addressing them, but I'm addressing anyone that watches my Facebook page, listens to my show, or anything that I've been dealing with over the last more than 10 years or whatever in radio, podcasting, whatever you want to call it. And I thought I would face that here, so stick around. It's going to be fun.
And now we interrupt, disrupt, and crash this station.
The man fighting for peace, his legacy, truth in a sea of stupid.
Filtered for your sarcastic enjoyment, Ghostgetter.
So this was the comment that they mentioned on Facebook. And not Facebook, but YouTube. And of course, a month ago, and I believe it was the same person, mentioned a comment asking me, where's my evidence? Everything I said was just coming out of my mouth, and I had no evidence whatsoever. And I did, and I showed them, and I proved it, and they never came back. Of course, they're just more loudmouth than anything. It's one of these new agers that I always seem to speak of. And not only do they did they attack me, but now they came out with a new comment attacking me again. Of course, if you can't answer the last comment, then why you come up with a new one? So, and it's of course, the Ghost Adventures groupie, so to speak, and this is what this is their new one. Says here, and I wasn't too sure if I should post the name, but I guess if they freely put the name on there, then it's okay. But if you want to know, you can go look it up yourself, so I kept it out of this video. But it says, another angry white guy with no audience. You got 2 comments, and one of them is yours. Get a life. Of course, I responded, another GAC fan with no life. I may have no views, but it's still true, and I'm still right. You, on the other hand, love living in this fantasy, and same old groupie commenting on my videos, and you're telling me I need a life. Now, I looked at it for a minute, and of course, doesn't bother me at all. Same old crap coming out of certain people's mouths. They can't prove anything otherwise. Of course, I was right. I'm sure it's a GAC groupie. They can't listen to right, wrong, or anything. All they see is stars in their eyes. So that's common. First of all, why would you even bring up the fact that I'm white? As if that's the first thing in your mind is the color of my skin. Isn't that racist? I don't really care either way. But, of course, there we go with the New Ager, which is probably some liberal, boneheaded person with no intelligence whatsoever. I kind of figured that she followed GAC. It's probably one of those people, because when you get the diehard fans, you get them really, really diehard to the point where they'll attack you, insult you, and everything else. If you have an opinion other than, a perfect, we love you, stars in our eyes, let's gaga over half the crew. But I'd never seen them do anything good for this community. Nothing. Second of all, angry. Well, after a while, when you've been lied to over and over and over again, and you're dealing with people that lie to you. You deal with people that manipulate you. You deal with people that lie to others. You deal with people that are into deceiving other people, and you know it. And you constantly deal with these people in this society over and over and over again. You tend to change from, and I've always been the person years ago that have let people walk on me and all over me too much. I let people get away with things a little too much. I let people take advantage of me a little too much. And there's this woman I've met a long time ago who told me once that and this is the kind of person, this is what she commented about herself when I asked her why she acts the way I act now. She told me that when you talk to people, you get taken advantage of. When you talk at them, they don't attack you as much. And over the years, I've learned this is right. She is so right. You get to the point where you get taken advantage of. You get to the point where you get treated a certain way, and people tend to say, well, they're easy for the picking because they're too nice. And when you're too nice, people know it, and people tend to use you, and people, which is really strange because when I was too nice, people didn't want to have anything to do with me. People took advantage of me. People just shunned me away in society when I was too nice, too much of a nice guy. Even growing up, I was always told by friends that I was too nice. Even asking girls out when I was younger, it was because I was too nice. So as I got older and got tired of being treated rottenly because I was too nice, I started to talk at people instead of to them. I started to put an end to the manipulation. I started putting an end to being taken advantage of. And so now I'm getting attacked because I'm not being too nice. So it's either one or it's the other. It can't be both in this world. So I guess being too nice was the right person at the wrong time, and now I'm the wrong person at the right time. So I'm a bit confused about the whole thing, but I would rather be a person that tells the truth and brings up the truth and gets the word out about what's right and what's wrong and the facts, other than the kind of person that goes along with the program and knows that I'm being lied to and knows that I'm being taken advantage of and knows that I'm following this circle that everybody else follows. Of course, we hear this, everyone is different and coexist, but when you're different from somebody else, you get attacked. So that coexist, no hate, is a bunch of crap. Because these people that made this stuff up will only accept no hate and coexist if you exist in their world the way they want it. That's how things work. So when I say that Zach Baggins is into evil things, tell me when he's not. Prove to me that he's not. Prove to me that he hasn't lied on occasion, which I have proven that he has lied on occasion. I have proven in several shows and several times that he was told that things weren't true and he went along with it anyway. How come he has to go by every evil object there is, to open every door of evil there is, to be as dark as he can be, to find dark as much as he can? And there's nothing wrong with this? Explain this to me. Here's the new one. And of course we know about this because they did it live Halloween night. Baggins acquires the infamous Dybbuk box for Haunted Museum. And the thing about the Dybbuk box is it's supposed to be one box, but yet everybody has their own YouTube channel now where they open the Dybbuk box. But I thought it was only supposed to be one. He's got a Dybbuk box, she's got a Dybbuk box, everybody's got a Dybbuk box. It seems to be a thing. all of a sudden, when it's a story on Most Haunted or whatever show it was, Paranormal Witness, it's a popular thing just because it was on TV. Doesn't mean, or it doesn't matter if it was true or not true. This is one person that bought a box from a family who claims this happened. So now, in this field, every Dybbuk box is haunted. Everybody's got to come up with this story like it's something that's created to be a massive thing, which it's not. This is one incident, people. If I say that I heard a door close, now everybody hears a door closed. If I say that I seen an apparition of a young girl, everybody's seen an apparition of a young girl. Isn't it interesting how when one thing happens, everybody seems to experience the same thing? What do you think it is that's causing this? So, if you're a fan of the paranormal, you should be well aware of the Dybbuk box that gained infamy from 2004 story in the Los Angeles Times. Of course, I thought it was Paranormal Witness. It went on to spawn the movie The Possession, and now it's been acquired by one of the most famous names in haunted memorabilia biz. Of course, Zach Baggins has to buy anything that's evil or anything that's causes chaos, evil, death, destruction, satanic, anything satanic, this guy has to acquire. Something is seriously wrong about this. Of course, this is published 2 years ago. And it's funny, everybody's making a big deal out of it now. I'd say March 5th, 2017. And everybody's making a big deal out of it now. And it's only because he opened it on, the live version of during Halloween. Now, I didn't watch it, so I don't know how it turned out. I'm sure it turned out to be crap. Just like, Geraldo Rivera and his missing vaults. He says, who plans to add the box to his haunted museum? This guy is trying. Why do you want to buy the objects? Oh, it's to save the world from evil. It's to keep people from acquiring these things. But yet you charge people to come see it at your museum. So that's a bit hypocritical, don't you think? I believe it is. So Zach bought the wine cabinet allegedly haunted by a Dybbuk from the guys who lent its evil backstory in 2012 horror film. It literally means the attachment, a cleaving to something. A Dybbuk is thought to be a spirit of a person who exists of drifting into the next realm, sticks around and enters the bodies of the living. And ain't that exactly what demons do? So how do you know the difference or know that this is not a demon that's attaching itself to people? Just because you say it's a person means it is a person? You're going to believe what everybody tells you? That's the problem with this whole field. Everybody believes what everybody tells them. So it says this particular item is commonly known as the world's most haunted object. Of course, every object is the world's most haunted object. I thought Robert the doll was the world's most haunted object. I thought the painting of the boy and the girl was the world's most haunted object. I thought the Ouija board was the world's most haunted object. It seems like we're coming up with the world's most haunted object every couple of years. Which explains why Zach reportedly paid tens of thousands of dollars for it. However, don't expect to see it open to the public when touring his Vegas Haunted Museum. According to TMZ, which is another, I don't believe, news outlet, he's generally too terrified to do that. Of course, that's a lie, because he just opened it up a year later on a Halloween show. And if this was done in March, I'm sure it was planned to be opened up on a Halloween show in the future. So that is generally a lie. But if you're brave enough and over 18, you'll be able to sign a waiver to view it. Oh, that's a bunch of crap. Zach's massive haunted museum is open soon, blah, blah, blah. Also holds such oddities as an actual mummy, anything evil, Peggy the doll, Michael Jackson's death scene chair, Ed Gein's cauldron, Dr. Jack Kevorkian's van, a throne of working antique mechanical dolls, and much, much more. Of course, the car, the Camaro itself, and all that. So, basically baloney. And so, am I angry? Not really. I just don't like people lying to me. I just don't like when people follow this stuff, knowing that this stuff is not exactly what it's supposed to be. This guy is following, he is diving himself. It's almost as if someone that's into bondage and someone that's into being tortured in a fantasy kind of way where, the more they get tortured and used to it, and it's not enough. They have to have more torture. They have to push themselves to a more extreme level. And this is how a few of your celebrities died, choking themselves to get off on it. Supposedly, I don't want to get into details, but it's almost like somebody has to go to an extreme level, and if it's not enough, they have to get more and more extreme. They have to get more and more darker to dive themselves. Have you seen the Hellraiser movie? I think part 3, where people were literally, torturing themselves or bonding themselves into such dark things. They found pleasure in it. It almost turned them on. It actually turned them on. And so I'm sure this is probably a thing for him where it actually, the darker he gets, the more it turns him on. That's what I'm seeing. Hence the constant black images of him wearing the dark images, the house, that his dungeon, the music that he has. The darker the guy has to get, it's not enough. He has to have more and more. He has to dive deeper into being darker and darker. And so there was a guy kind of like that years ago that was on Art Bell's show, where he actually, and I would not be surprised if he doesn't try to do this someday. Zach Baggins will probably do this. There's a guy that actually wanted to remote view Lucifer or Satan, and Art Bell tried to talk him out of it. I don't know if he actually did it. I never followed up on it. I thought it was the dumbest thing a person can do, but he actually wanted to remote view Satan, as if EVPs or electronic voice phenomena of any kind or anything like that wasn't enough to talk to darker spirits behind the veil. He actually wanted to remote view them, which was the dumbest thing you could ever do, and probably the most dangerous you could ever do. So it is not a surprise to me that this guy is actually turned on. The darker he goes, the deeper he goes, the darker the realm is. This is exactly what Pinhead did in Hellraiser, or talked about in Hellraiser. Even though it's a fantasy, it made sense. People are turned on the darker they go, the deeper they go into experiencing the flesh or experiencing something that is just horrifying. They can't get enough. And he's driving other people into it. He's causing other people to be involved in what he does. There has been more bad things that have turned out in his world than good things. You can show me where things he's done actually help people, but I guarantee you there will be things that has happened that have been more bad than good. Turnouts of haunted places he's been to that caused divorces or attacks or possession, or things have gotten more haunted in their house or more extreme in their house. Things just turn out for the worse. So you want to follow it. That's your point of view. That is up to you. I am not telling you, don't you follow this. You want to do it. You do whatever you want to do. You cannot, which coming from your brain, the kind of person you are, you will end up blaming somebody else for someone else's actions. You will blame somebody else for something that happened to you, because this is how this turns out. I've seen it a million times. You complain to somebody that you white man are always angry. You people don't know what you're talking about. You don't have enough evidence. You just running at the mouth. Then when something bad happens to you and it turns into a I told you so moment, guess what happens? You blame it on somebody else. You blame it on them or him or some object, but you never take responsibility for your own actions. And that's exactly what's going to happen eventually when you do something stupid, and you will. You'll blame it on somebody else. So take yourself to some other page or some other YouTube channel and watch their videos and keep living in this fantasy or this blind world that you're living in. And don't bother watching my videos if you don't want to watch them. I don't have a lot of views. You're right about that. Did I ask for thousands of views? Maybe I would like it. Maybe I don't like it. But I'm not going to act like somebody I'm not. I'm not going to become some fantasy that isn't true. I'm not going to tell you lies, and I'm not going to live in a world that doesn't exist, according to you, where I believe things that are not true. And I'm not going to follow Zach Baggins if he does nothing good for society. I'm not going to follow him as a fan because I am not a fan. Maybe I started to believe him at one point years ago, but then I found out the truth and I realized this guy is horse manure. He's not what people say he is. He's not what he says he is. So I am not going to follow that realm. I'm not going to believe what everybody else thinks is true when I know it's not. I'm not going to live like everybody else lives. I'm not going to believe what everybody else seems to believe. I don't get a lot of fans. I'm not getting a lot of subscribers. I don't get a lot of people that listen to my station. But I'm living my dream. I'm living my world, and I'm doing something that I wanted to do because I can't, in good conscience, follow something that I know in my conscience isn't right. And I know in my conscience isn't the right way to go. So I cannot follow something and lie to myself knowing that this isn't right. You can lie to yourself all you want to. You can believe something that you know isn't right. You can live a lie, and you can believe in a world that isn't there. And you can act like somebody you're not, and you can portray somebody that you aren't. But I promise you, you will never inside of you be a happy person. And I may show that I'm an angry person on the outside, and I may be one of those get a life people, but you know what? Inside, in good conscience, I know I can sleep at night knowing that this is the right way to go. Thank you, everybody, for watching the page, listening to the video, watching the video, taking the time out of my channel. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody listening to the station. I don't get a lot of viewers. I don't get a lot of listeners. You know, and it saddens me sometimes that I don't, but you know what? I definitely am not going to act like something that I'm not to get it. I just can't do it. Half you people on YouTube may do it. Most of you people on YouTube may be somebody you're not. But I just can't do it. I have to be who I am. And so the viewers may not come. I may lose them. I may get one view on a video. I may get one comment on a video. But like I said, I can sleep at night. I appreciate everybody watching, and see you next time. Hey everybody, don't forget to check out Reverse 96 FM on TuneIn, Streema, and now internetradio.com.